June the 5th, 2014. Guys, this Hyder flare has been going on for 20 hours. The last frame, it's still spreading in the top right of the area that we're seeing. Notice it started on the 4th at 1653 was the first frames that we could start to see it. The last frame today, 5/12/09, it's still spreading in the top right. Now, they are long-term events, but I've never seen one last this long, and it's not over. Now, it's emitting energy the whole time. It's called basically your secondary results of the CME. I'm going to show you to you on a couple of different SDO cameras. Look at that. This one's worth looking at. A lot of times an event won't really be apparent on the different filters. This one is. Again, continuing now 20 plus hours in the spread. As it's doing that, it's releasing energy. Now, the coverage of this thing throughout the night was very concerning to me because I saw some timestamps change. Now, we've seen frames that were missing, then the next day they would be put in, but I've never seen them come in and put a timestamp from the 5th, dated the 5th, that was from the 4th. And I saw them do it last night, but this is the 3rd. Then finally today they put up the flare there. That's what was released when that Hyder flare hit. Let's back it up. Now you're going to see a flash, and I recorded it last night so I know, and it was right there. That flash dated 5/0/24 came up last night, way before the flare did. But that frame, as you can see, it doesn't fit, was from the 4th. I went back and looked at them. But anyway, very unusual. I had comments saying, this is unusual coverage, and it was very unusual. There's what we're dealing with right there, guys. Check that out. The entire time it was coming around, we were talking about this is going to fall, it's going to create a Hyder flare, and it's going to create a coronal mass ejection. This is from our GOES 15. We don't see it a lot, but with these Hyder flares, it really shows you the energy. This is current. That's the latest frame. Now, I was asked a question, does it affect the Earth? Yes, they do. As they compress this atmosphere, it changes wind speed, it changes everything, the heat on the surface, the heat in the atmosphere. But look at this current storm, guys. Look in the top right at the wind stream pattern. It's moving so fast. You see that? Now this is moving east with a south tilt, and I'm going to go back and show you some radar of this. But let's look at the Hurricane Center real quick, guys. This tropical cyclone formation percentages went from 10 to 20 to 30% in 3 days. We've seen that before, but now they're going to send out an Air Force Reserve reconnaissance plane. What they're concerned about is flooding in the mountains of Mexico because it's not moving fast. So you guys in that area, if you know someone in that area, make sure they're aware of this because we've seen people drown every year down there. Now, so far, formation back across the Atlantic is not happening. Again, this year it will be the Gulf and the Caribbean. But now there are storms coming off Africa, but they're being sheared apart. But the potential energy is there. And you're looking at the tip, guys, of this one of this first storms coming into the top of Alabama and Georgia. We talked about this yesterday. Same movement. But look at the shear pattern behind the storm, giving you an indication of the wind speed. Compression on the atmosphere from solar activity and other things. Increased straight line winds. You've heard this talked about. Now you can see also in the Gulf, that moisture. Notice that yesterday it was over central Florida, now it's moved south. That's because of these storms here. Again, notice the shearing out the backside of this. It's moving very fast. Straight line wind damage again, guys. Watch for this. They're talking about possible tornadoes. They've got thunderstorms warnings out through Tennessee in this area, and they're watching for hail damage again. This is Africa. You can see the energy exists there. As it comes off, it's getting sheared. That will change as we go throughout the season. Also, guys, on the West Coast, you guys with the Geiger counters reading this radiation, pay attention to when these fronts move over Fukushima, when they come across. And that will give you the difference between your local leaks, like Diablo Canyon, and the radiation from Fukushima. This is the African continent. Again, the potential energy is there. Look at that in the last few frames. A lot of it there. So as soon as it shifts, with the heat that's on that continent, we can expect energy coming across the Atlantic. Now, this is one of the warnings. This is out of Tennessee. They're talking about severe thunderstorm producing quarter-size hail and damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. This storm was located near New Enterprise or near Milan, moving east at 20 miles an hour. Pause this and read it, guys. This is not the only warning out. This is just an example. But each time they said 60 miles an hour in excess in the last few days, these winds have approached 100 miles per hour. It's not playing. But check this out again, top left of the storm. Look at the wind shearing and the speed of this thing. So you cannot play with this storm right here. Look at the height of the clouds in the center of it. This is going to be one that they're going to be talking about tomorrow. I promise you that. So don't let your guard down on it. Also notice in the last frame at the top, you don't get to look under that black circle very often. Just right there in that last frame, we don't have that the overlay coverage of it. Notice this red line, but that's up. We're dealing with the Arctic vortex there, and we're seeing shifts there, and that's why we're going to see wind pattern shifts. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe. We're going to update this.